Hi everyone, Hallie Cottis with Whole Lifestyle Nutrition. Today I'm actually doing a video tutorial. Watch my cursor right here. You'll hear my voice and I'm going to show you how you can edit your pictures with simple techniques to make your pictures wow. So down in the bottom right hand corner of this video there is a picture of a little gear. Click on that and you can change the quality of the video to HD, and this is really going to help you see this picture more clearly. So in addition to that, you might want to enlarge the video so you can follow along more better with this process. So alright, let's get started. Today I am in Aperture. And that's an editing program that I use on my Apple computer. But you could use Lightroom, you could use Photoshop, any pretty basic editing software program can do this for you. So I'm going to come on over here, and if I click here, here's my library, here's the info, and here's the adjustments of my pictures. And what we're going to do here is I'm going to, excuse me here, I just wanted to add one more thing here. I'm going to just go right on down and show you a little bit about this editing. So the first thing we're going to look at is the white balance. And the white balance is the whites in your photos. If they're white, if they have a hint of blue or even a hint of yellow, this picture is actually pretty good. But I'm going to go ahead and click on it so you can see how it, like there it's really yellow, and if your picture was like that you could bring it down and make it more white. Or if you take a picture and the lighting's off and it's kind of blue, then you can bring it up to and make your whites actually be white. I'm going to actually put this right back at 5,000. 5,000 is where it typically takes, 5,000K. So anyways, but you can see, there we go, how this will just enhance your whites. So come down here and you can also play with the tint, which is the purples and the greens. So you can slide around with that and play a little bit if you feel like that's necessary. Here's a very important tool. Oftentimes many people take pictures and the exposure is underexposed, or you need more light. So especially in the winter times here in Wisconsin, I'm often bumping up my exposure a little bit. I don't want to go overboard because, like I said, this is a 3-bean winter chili, and I'm really wanting that warm feeling. Hence the reason why I put it on the dark wood. I really wanted that warm feel, because that's what you feel like when you are having some chili on a cold winter day. So anyways, you can go all the way up and you can see that's way overexposed, or you can go really far down if you had a picture that was overexposed. So anyways, we're just going to find a happy balance. I think my picture could have been bumped up just a tad there. And then you have your recovery, which you could play with this. This as well allows you to adjust the exposure just a little bit. I usually don't use it too much. Black point, I think, is one of the best ways to enhance a picture, and I feel oftentimes people just don't play with this enough. But here, if you look at these beans in the middle of my chili right here, this black point, black always looks better just a little enhanced. It's not only enhancing the beans here, but it's also enhancing the table as well. So that's a good area to look at. And then you can also play with the brightness a little bit. I'm going to make it just a tad bit brighter because I do want to be able to see the back of the table, and that was getting a little bit dark. Okay, it's a little bit too much. Okay, so then we're going to come down here, and this is where you enhance. And the contrast, I already did the brightness, so I'm going to go ahead and hit the contrast. And that's going to, again, if you notice, look at the background, it's going a little bit darker. So it's going to make the soup stand out more and the background go a little bit darker, but again, our main focus is the soup. So you can already see how the colors have been enhanced, and we haven't even touched on the saturation or vibrancy. Saturation is the reds and the yellows. And here, I really don't feel like I need to bump it up too far. This, you can go way overboard with this. If you look how orange it is. It looks like everything's cheesy. And so just ever so slightly, if you are going to bump that up, just, there we go, I think it's right around where I had it. A little bit I bumped it up. And the vibrancy, again, plays with the blues and the greens. So if you have a picture of a blue sky, this would be a really good area, or green grass that you would play with your vibrancy as well. I really don't have much of that, so I don't need to really use it. And then you come down here on your highlights and your shadows. If you notice, like sometimes, let me see if I highlights, you just play around with this. If something has too much of a highlight, you can lower the highlights, increase them. Shadows, if you want your shadows to disappear in the background, look how they're disappearing on the table. Now you can't really see it, but it also washes out your picture a little bit. So if you do mess with the highlights and the shadows, be sure to come back, and you might have to adjust your exposure a little bit with that. But you can play around and see how that works. And then the last tool I use is the sharpen tool. And with this sharpen tool, it just crisps it up just a little bit more. You got to be careful. This intensity is pretty easy. It doesn't crisp it too much. But when you come down to the radius, oh my gosh, you can go so overboard, and then it just distorts the food. It doesn't even look like chili anymore. It looks like, you know, it just doesn't look appetizing. So again, just like with the saturation, ever so slightly with the radius. There we go, like that. And there we have our picture slightly enhanced. And then you're not going to be able to see the difference. I'm going to double click on that, and I'm going to show you a picture. There is the picture before, and here is the picture after. Okay, do you see the difference before, after, or maybe it's this one. Here's a good example of that one. And then we're going to go over to this one. And you can see, I still see that it's a little bumped up in exposure a little bit, so I want to bring that down. Just play until you get the picture that you want. But it's a dramatic difference from that to this, and it just really, that extra color, the richness, really makes a huge difference. So if you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comment section below. But that's it for our video tutorial. Until next time, this is Hallie Cottis with Whole Lifestyle Nutrition.